All right. Good afternoon. Happy holidays and happy graduation. I'd like to invite everyone to stand if they're able as we recognize our graduates from the Department of Industrial and Systems Engineering and also the Operations Research Program. All right, you may be seated. Okay. I'm Dr. Canton Reynolds. I'm the Director of Undergraduate Programs here in the Edward P. Fitts Department of Industrial and Systems Engineering, and I'll be serving as your Master of Ceremonies for today. I'm honored to be a part of such a special moment for these students. This is also a special day for me as I watch my first class of graduating seniors cross the stage since joining the faculty in my former department. It's exciting and rewarding to see each of them fulfill their dreams. When we started out together in senior design this semester, I told our students that if all we've done is help them synthesize all the information they've learned, then we failed them. Hopefully, we provided them with a learning environment where they have grown as students and scholars, and now as graduates and professionals. We're live streaming this today from the cameras upstairs, and you'll be able to review it later. We're fortunate to be here at the Brooks Avenue Church of Christ, and we hope you agree that this is a beautiful place for such a special event. The department and staff and our volunteers hope that this ceremony is memorable, so please ensure that we give each of our graduates time to be recognized. Also, we'd like to consider those that will be using the church after us, so let's please keep track of your belongings and make sure we deposit any trash in the trash cans. A little bit about how this will play out. I will introduce our department head, Dr. Julie Swan. She'll have some opening remarks and introduce the faculty and staff. We'll then have our guest speaker, who will be one of our distinguished alumni, Mrs. Gail Lanier. Then we'll be on to recognizing our newest graduates. Dr. Mike Kay, tenure professor in our department, our director of operations research, or I will introduce the graduates, and we may share a few words. You're welcome to come down and take pictures, as many as you like, but just be sure that our photographer has an opportunity to take photos first. We'll pace it for you and the family, so please take your time. And then at the conclusion of the ceremony, we'll have fellowship hall open if you want to take pictures in front of the banners or with the faculty members. When we adjourn to the fellowship hall, you can take 2 left-hand turns outside the sanctuary, and there'll be cake and refreshments for everyone. And so without further ado, I'd like to introduce our department head and distinguished professor, Dr. Julie Swan.
Thank you. I'm delighted to be here also for my first commencement ceremony with the Edward P. Fitts Department of Industrial and Systems Engineering here at NC State. I joined in August, and I am delighted to be here with you today. This is a wonderful day where all of the graduates and the faculty, staff, and family and loved ones here are justifiably proud. I can assure you that the faculty and staff share in your pride. First, let me tell you just a little bit about the department. We are one of the oldest and largest academic departments of industrial and systems engineering in the United States, celebrating over 80 years of excellence with the first bachelor's degree awarded in 1933. The program has been continuously accredited since the beginning of that certification in 1948. Our graduate program was also established in 1948 and the first master's degree in 1950. The doctoral program was established in 1967, and the first doctoral degree was awarded in 1969 under the supervision of Professor Salah El-Maghrabi. This brings me to the introduction of our faculty and staff. I ask you to hold your applause until all faculty and staff have been introduced. So as I call your name, if you would please stand up for me, and then you may sit again. We have Dick Bernhard, Jing Yon Dong, Ola Harrison, Julie Ivy, Mike Kay, Jason Lowe, C.S. Nam, Osman Azaltine, Benil Starley, and also joining us today, affiliated with the Operations Research Program, we have Tao Pong from the Department of Math. And last but not least, Professor Tom Hodgson from Industrial and Systems Engineering as well. That's right. Oh, but Maria Mayorga, oh my goodness, excuse me, that was my fault. She was here on time, I promise. Now let me introduce to you the staff that are here from Industrial and Systems Engineering as well as from Operations Research. Debbie Allgood-Staton, Cecilia Chen, I believe she's in oh yeah, thank you, Cecilia. Justin Lancaster, he's in the back, controlling the live stream, so if you want your face on there, make sure to look up every once in a while. Rob Lassen is taking pictures, so he's very important to look at, especially you graduates, make sure. Christina Pucci, Linda Smith from OR, Hakan Sungar, and Danita Taylor. Did I miss anybody? Great, please join me in thanking them. Next, I would like to mention some noteworthy events of the past year, as well as some of the major professional accomplishments of the faculty and students in ISE. Undergraduate enrollment has more than doubled since 2007, growing at well over the national rate. Over the last 3 years, we have been one of the fastest growing departments in the College of Engineering at NC State and now have over 300 students. Likewise, the graduate program has grown at almost 4 times the national average. We now have more than 250 graduate students, including those that we supervise in the Operations Research Program and the MC degree. Our research expenditures have grown over 70%. Our faculty and students are on the cutting edge of research, ones traditional to IE, such as production or logistics, but also leading IE programs into new areas, including healthcare, 3D printing, nanotechnology, virtual reality environments, among others. Our faculty are national and international leaders in many exciting areas, the thought leaders that will help create economic development in the city, state, and more. The laboratories are among the finest in the nation and have continually been enhanced. Due to the passages of the state of North Carolina's bond referendum and assistance from alumni, ISE will move into a new building on Centennial Campus in the summer of 2020 that is built as the first public-private partnership building of NC State. We are tremendously excited about this. Now let me tell you a little about our students. You hear about other universities cutting corners when it comes to student athletes. I won't mention any of those universities by name, but I am pleased to tell you that at this year's Wolfie Awards, 5 of NC State's Caterpillar Top 10 Scholar Athletes were ISE students, 5 of 10 for the whole university. Quite an achievement. Anna Costa, Anton Ibsen, Aaron Thomas, Alec Thomas, and Ashley Williams. They are exemplary in the classroom and on the field, court, and pool. Together, they have an average GPA of 3.96. That's out of 4. Better than most faculty, I think. Anton Epson received the ACC Men's Swimming and Diving Scholar Athlete of the Year, as well as all ACC and All-America honors. A.J. Cole III, punter on the football team, was featured by ESPN for his mission work in Kenya, where he works from children from the Mountain Park Academy. There's a great video clip of A.J. running down the road toward the kids as they chant, A.J., A.J. You can find it if you search for A.J. Cole and Kenya. It will turn up, and the ESPN article. Amy Bevilacqua and Sarah McConnell are both working on separate projects with NC State's Engineers Without Borders in Sierra Leone and Guatemala to bring safe drinking water to the people in the villages. Anjali Mani won a Rising Star Award from SME, a Society for Manufacturing. This February, our student chapter of the Institute for Industrial and Systems Engineering will host the Mid-Atlantic Regional Conference with over 150 students and faculty, and that will be at NC State. Corporate sponsorships are still available if you're interested for February. Graduate students. PhD student Pedro Hubner received the 2017 Gilbreth Memorial Fellowship from IISE. He's the first NC State student ever to have received that. He also has received the ISE's Outstanding Teaching Assistant Award and won the Doctoral Colloquium Poster Contest at the IISE Annual Conference. We'll be sorry to have him leave us, but I'm sure to go on to great things. PhD student Lokesh Narayanan received the 2017 IISE Manufacturing and Design Best Student Paper Award and also a Rising Star Award from SME. PhD student Na Young Kim won the Best Student Paper Award at the Human Factors in Ergonomics Society Conference. And staff member, we have the greatest staff, second to none on campus. The ISE Outstanding Staff Award went to Hakan Sangar, who helps us with many different things, including the financial side and obtaining grants. Faculty and affiliates, we now have the president-elect of the Institute for Industrial and Systems Engineers, Tim McLaughlin, affiliated with our department. Dr. Rohan Shirwaiker received a career award from the National Science Foundation, as well as the C.A. Anderson Outstanding Faculty Award. And we have honored 3 ISE faculty who recently retired, Drs. Tom Colbroth, Steve Roberts, and Bob Young. Together, they have over 90 years of teaching experience of industrial engineers. Dr. Julie Ivey received the Moving Spirit Award from Informs, and Dr. Benil Starley takes over NC State's Functional Tissue Engineering program this fall. As you can see, we have an outstanding group of students, staff, and faculty. I want to tell you that this would not be possible without your support. You, the students, have contributed across the board in these initiatives. You, the parents and the family, have supported them. You might have done their laundry or given them dinner. You likely also paid their tuition or fees. And while the state is generous, tuition alone is far below the cost of delivering the experience at NC State, which lays the foundation for the engineering leaders of tomorrow. Thus, I also thank others, the donors and sponsors, who have helped us lay that foundation through senior design, contributions to the Enhancement Fund, or donations for the new building. In truth, we cannot do it without all of you. I've told you a little bit about the past and the status quo at NC State, but let me also remark on the future. You've heard about the building that's coming, but the department is also developing initiatives in data science to meet the growing demand from industry. Students, don't worry, you're not going to be left out, as there will be professional education opportunities available for your lifelong learning. We are increasing student participation in study abroad, which can open new horizons in a participant's life. And we are engaging with alumni, including a new mentoring program that will be rolled out soon. So students, while there may be some of you who would like to forget about us for a short time, don't let it be long, as we want you to continue to be involved as an alumnus, where you will interact with other alumni, provide a lifting hand to the students behind you, or give back in other ways. In time, you will see that we are not just an institution or a department, but we truly are a pack, greater than we would be on our own, greater for your involvement and engagement with us. Finally, it's my great pleasure to introduce to you our graduation speaker today. We've begun a new tradition recently by inviting an alumnus of the department to speak during at least one commencement ceremony a year. I'm delighted to share with you information on this year's speaker, Gail Lanier. She received her bachelor's degree from NC State in 1982. She's currently the Senior Vice President and Chief Customer Service Officer for Duke Energy. Prior to that, she has also held leadership roles at Progress Energy, Nortel, and EMC. She's a current member of the ISE Advisory Board and a past member of the university's Board of Trustees and Board of Visitors. She's had many other appointments, but the list is too long. She established the Dwayne K. and Gail S. Lanier NC State Scholarship Endowment in 2003 to help benefit engineering students. She received the NC State Distinguished Engineering Alumnus Award in 2008 and served as the keynote address speaker for the College of Engineering in 2005. This year, she became the first female alumni of the department to receive the prestigious Watauga Medal at NC State, joining only 115 men and women from the university's history. She was one of the, she's been at many other awards, including the Network Journal's 25 Influential Black Women in Business and many others. I am delighted to introduce to you Gail S. Lanier.
Thank you, Department Head Julie Swan, faculty, and staff. Congratulations to the students. You've worked hard to achieve this degree. For the parents and friends here today, congratulations to you as well. It really does take a village, and you should really be proud of the accomplishments of these students. To be standing before you today is not only an honor, but it is really a dream fulfilled for me as well. When I graduated in 1982, they didn't have a winter graduation. I finished in the summer of 1982, and by the time commencement came in 1983, I was married and working, so coming back for graduation did not seem important. I attended and participated in my first graduation as a trustee of the university in 2007. So today, I fulfill a dream by participating in my own departmental graduation as a first. Albeit 35 years later, it's really important to me. So I had this wonderful speech about the 3 little pigs and the big bad wolf. And then I talked to Dr. Kenton Reynolds and said, can you please ask the students what they really want to hear about? And so I changed my speech today. I'm going to talk a little bit more about my journey, starting with my past, the present, and the future. And I do this not to really talk about what I've done in my career, but so you as graduates can see what is possible only if you believe in yourself. So I'm a Southern girl. I'm a Navy brat. I'm the oldest of 3 girls. And we were always taught to be seen and not heard. We were always lined up along the couch to sit quietly, and we were told we were to be seen and not heard, and only to talk when we were spoken to. When I was in high school, I remember a teacher saying that the only dumb question was one that was unasked. This was contrary to my be seen and not heard mentality, so I tried it. Wow. What power I found in asking questions about things I didn't know. And later in my career, the art of asking questions about things in which I knew the answer, but that I had to get someone else to get to the same answer that I knew that for them themselves. My grandfather had a 3rd grade education, but worked to acquire a 260-acre tobacco farm here in Wake County to provide for his family. But he knew that education was the ultimate equalizer, so he pushed education for all 11 of his children. My father also motivated his 3 daughters to believe that we could do and be anything as long as we were educated. He also believed that you had to get ahead by working hard. At one point, not only did I work on the family's tobacco farm, I was a school bus driver, I was a model, a cashier, all at the same time. College, however, was an expectation. It was never an option for myself or my two sisters. I chose engineering because my father told me that I was really good at math, and where he worked, all the engineers made the decision. As a strong-willed girl, this was enticing to me, so I was up for the challenge. I mean, who wouldn't want to make all the decisions? And besides, this was my escape from working on the tobacco farm. I learned early in my career that hard work alone, though, was not enough. I worked hard every day. I did more than most men, and I did it well. But I did not flourish until I found my voice, which again was contrary to my upbringing. Today, I lead over 3,000 people. I have traveled the world, and I've seen places in the world that I would have never dreamed possible coming from the tobacco fields of Wake County. It's not always been an easy path, and there have been obstacles along the way. I've learned to navigate the obstacles, the setbacks, to adapt, and to march forward to a new path. Throughout my career, I have learned several things that I want to share with you today about being an authentic and bold leader. Now, I love acronyms, so BOLD is an acronym. So I want you to remember these. B, you must be brilliant at the basics. You have to perform. That is table stakes. You have to be the best you can be and bring it every single day. Balance. I get this question often from women about, can you have it all? Yes, you can have it all, just not at the same time. All right? I've learned to set my priorities in life, and I have 3 priorities. They are my faith, my family, and my job. My faith always stays number 1. My family and my job have changed priorities throughout the course of my career. When my daughter needed a mom in middle school, I had a wonderful promotional opportunity, but my daughter needed her mom. I told my company that I could not make them nor me successful at this time, but don't forget about me. And they came back. Now my daughter's 32, she's a graduate of NC State as well. My husband commutes, so now work is number 1 in my career. Choose your priorities, stick to them, be unwavering. Belong. Sheryl Sandberg says this best when she says, sit at the table, be all in, give your all. I have never let the fact that I am an African American female get in the way of my career. We can't change who we are. We can only change what people know of us. I strive to have people respect me as Gail, competent and confident. B. O. Be open-minded. You don't know what you don't know. Ask the question. Be organized. O. Organization for me is efficiency. I live in what's called organized chaos. If you look at my desk, it is a mess, but don't touch it. I know where everything is. I have a spreadsheet for everything, from Christmas trees for the holidays to travel, whatever. I love spreadsheets. I am, as my sisters affectionately call me, anally organized. Be opportunistic. Be ready to take a challenge. Whenever you see an opportunity and that door opens, put your foot in it and run through. Do not stop. O. L. Be a learner. Be able to learn from your mistakes. Life is always going to throw you something unexpected, and things are never going to go the way you expect for them to. Fail fast. Get up and apply those learnings, but get up and keep moving. Lead. Take the reins. Set the example and lead. And one of the most important leadership skills I've learned is to listen. Seek first to understand. People want to be heard, and they will go along with whatever you say, even if they don't like the response, as long as they know they've had an opportunity to be heard. L. D. Be decisive. The worst decision you can make is no decision. Unless it is a life or death decision, a life or death situation, make a decision. If it's wrong, change it. But if you don't make a decision, they're going to find somebody else who will. Be dependable. D. Do what you say you're going to do. It is often said at work, Gail said. When those words are said, people know it's going to get done because I am dependable. And lastly, D, delegate. Your primary job as a leader is to lead others to do things that they never thought were even possible. You have to be able to remove the barriers to enable others to be successful. Set clear expectations and be there for others if they have questions. So those are my bolds. What these traits have given me is a strong foundation to believe in myself and to trust that with God's grace, I can be the best Gail that I can be and have no doubt that my voice will be heard. So I challenge you today to find your voice, to be a role model, to be competent, to be confident in your own ability, and to lead boldly. My father spent 22 years in the Navy and then retired after an additional 15 years at Carolina Power and Light, now Duke Energy, the same company in which I work. He died before I joined the company, but I know he would be so proud to know that his advice paid off. I majored in industrial engineering from NC State. I moved from the tobacco fields of Wake County to be an officer of a Fortune 125 company. I strive every day in my career to make things better, and I have established my career on the brick and mortar competencies that NC State has instilled in me. I have used those skills to work in 3 different industries, from computer manufacturing to telecommunications and to the electric and gas industries. I have influenced the lives of people around the world who look to me to help them fulfill their life goals. I have conveyed the requirement of education to our daughter, to believe in herself, to build upon the strong foundation that NC State gave her to prepare her for the future, just as my father did with me. She is an NC State alum, the class of 2007. I'm chemical and biomolecular engineer with a minor in Spanish and a Harvard MBA. Yes, I am a very proud mom. She is ready for whatever challenges life has for her, and she is paying it forward. And I am paying it forward by making sure she understands the requirements of education. So what does the future hold? While you may be at the end of your journey here at NC State, your journey is never finished. If I complete my career having passed on some knowledge that can help you or others along the way, then I have fulfilled my purpose. For that reason, I am committed to giving back to my community. My final challenge, a lifelong challenge for you, is to make sure what you do is making a difference and by giving back. Many of you here today are probably on scholarships or financial aid, as I was, to assist you through college. Someone had to give back to the university to make that happen. My husband and I have made endowments both to the College of Engineering and to the Poole College of Management to ensure that other underprivileged students like we were are able to fulfill that dream. We gave what we could financially to help this university advance, but I also gave very unselfishly of my time. NC State gave me the tools I needed to build a great career. I started small by volunteering through work to review senior projects. I always said yes anytime the university asked me to do anything. That can-do, yes attitude led me to become a trustee of this great university and ultimately a Watauga medalist, something for which I never would have expected. My hope is that my efforts build a better NC State, a better Edward P. Fitts Department of Industrial and Systems Engineering, and more importantly, a better tomorrow for you. Start small, but start. Give your time, your energy, and make a difference to inspire others. Help them see what is possible. You have the capacity to be a courageous leader, built on a sense of purpose, conviction, and a call to action to shape the future, and a call to empower others around you. Drive change and learn to adapt and grow. Bring out the best in yourselves and create a solid foundation for you and the people around you, no matter what the circumstances. So, NC State Industrial and Systems Engineering class of 2017, congratulations. Aspire higher, dream big, think and do the extraordinary, and be a bold leader. Thank you very much.
Okay, we'll next have the awarding of the graduate degrees. So if the graduate students could please stand up and come this way. Yeah. And the first degree that we'll be awarding is the PhD degree in industrial engineering. And we asked the students to fill out a little form. And so I'll be mentioning some of the things that they put into their questions relative to different things relative to their experience here at NC State. Our first graduate is from Guangzhou, China. And we asked him, like, what activities have you done on campus or off campus? He mentioned major activities, got married in his last year of his PhD program. That's a pretty big activity. He's currently working as an assistant professor in the Department of Applied Engineering at NC A&T State University. Yi Kai? Yeah. Thank you. Our next graduate is from Hubei, China, and he's currently working as an assistant professor in Brigham University, State University of New York. Jia Deng.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, our Our next graduate is from Barabanki, India, and he's currently working at Fujifilm. And we ask him, one of the questions we ask is the number of all-nighters that they put in. And he basically answered that he's basically put in a lot of all-nighters, because especially when I'm working with live stem cells, it kind of requires continual vigilance, I would assume. Arun Kumar. Our next graduate is from Bangalore, India. She's currently working at the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, and she's looking for a position as a postdoctoral fellow. We ask people that you would like to thank. She basically says my entire family, and especially my long-suffering husband. I'm assuming he's in the audience. Nisha Nataraj. Our next graduate is from Tianjin, China. Her plans after school are to pursue a career as an academic or an industrial researcher. Okay. Wengzhong Zhang. Our next set of graduates will be receiving the Master of Science degree in Industrial Engineering. Our first graduate is from Rohan, India. Plans after school, well, basically he's currently pursuing a PhD in the Industrial Engineering department, and he's working on developing smart manufacturing. Anton Angrish. Our next graduate listed as his hometown India, so I guess the whole country. He's currently working at the Association for Manufacturing Technology. Sharab Singh. The next graduates will be receiving the Master of Industrial Engineering degree. Next graduate, again from Morocco, his hometown. He's an undergrad, so he's a long-termer. He's currently receiving his master's degree, and he's also staying on for his PhD. So I think he'll have at least one more graduation ceremony. Ishmael Lakorshi. Our next graduate is from Tehran, Iran. Plans after school, looking for a full-time position as a data analyst. Bahar Astarami. Our next graduate is from New Delhi, India. Her plans after school, continuing with a PhD, Deepak Prawa. Our next graduates will be receiving the PhD degree in operations research, which is actually not part of industrial engineering. It's a separate program, but we share the same graduation ceremonies. Our first graduate from the OR program is from, again, Terman Aram. She's currently working as an assistant professor in business analytics at the State University of New York in Plattsburgh. Shakiba Enyati. Our next graduate is from Ankara, Turkey, currently working at First Citizens Bank as a model validation analyst. Special thoughts from his years. I thought I really like this one. Support PhD students financially. And that's something I struggle with quite a lot. Shatai Karan. Our next graduates will be receiving the Master of Operations Research degree. Our first graduate is from Chicago, Illinois. One of the questions, number of all-nighters, basically 4, but they're all in this last semester. So it was basically struggled, but he has graduated. Armand Green. And our last graduate student is from Bristol, Connecticut. In terms of people we would like to thank, basically my mother and father for encouraging me to do what makes me happy, which I think is a good way to live your life. He's also planning to continue for his PhD degree in operations research. Alex Kozlowski.
Thank you, Dr. K, and congratulations to our graduate students. Next, it will be my pleasure to introduce our Bachelor of Science graduates as they approach the podium. Along similar lines to our graduate students, we asked them a set of questions, and so I'll be citing some of their responses. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Madeline Gibbs Fleming. Madeline is from Elon, North Carolina, and during her 4 years, she had the privilege of living in the engineering village. She was a member of the NC State dance team, a Kappa Delta sorority member, teaching assistant for E101 in the Engineering Grand Challenges courses, engineering ambassador for the College of Engineering. She was also team advisor for the National Student Leadership Conference at Yale University and was a Senate intern at the North Carolina General Assembly. She will be working as a technology analyst at Credit Suisse, and her special thoughts during her 4.5 years, it was tough, but now she gets to say she's an engineer, and go Pack. Lauren Noel Houston. Lauren's from Warsaw, North Carolina. She's the music director at Faith Community Church, a piano teacher, member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. After completing her degree, Lauren will be an operations industrial engineer with the United States Postal Service. Her special thoughts during her years at NC State, she learned many lessons. The biggest being that through prayer, faith, determination, perseverance, she can accomplish anything she puts her mind to. She'd like to thank her parents, Keith and Sheila Houston, her family, her church family, Dr. Parrish, Dr. McLean, and myself for their continued support. Addie Lynn Jackson. Addie is from Warrenton, North Carolina. She was president of the Student Center's Board of Directors, University Theater, and Campus Movie Fest. After her plans after school, she's still waiting here for a job, so if somebody wants to hire Ms. Jackson, here we go. Her special thoughts, NC State, especially in the fall, has always felt like home. And she'd like to thank her parents, siblings, nephew, niece for always giving her something to come home to. Gus Buick for always being a landing place and wealth of support. David Jensen of University Theater for both teaching and caring. Addie Jackson. Christopher James Kelly from Calabash, North Carolina. Christopher was a Career Development Center ambassador. He worked in the Commo Lab. He was on the cheerleading team his freshman year and likes to perform with his band Retro Candy, as well as ride his motorcycle. During college, he was a strength and conditioning assistant for University Recreation, a team-building apprentice at University Recreation ropes course, and a gymnastics instructor. His plans are to stay right here with us and work on his master's degree in the graduate program. The best experiences were his 3 co-op rotations in the study abroad in London, and he'd like to thank his parents, Tim and Vicki Kelly, as well as Dr. Wisk for his guidance and mentorship throughout undergrad and continuing into grad school. Good luck to his little brother, Matt, who just finished his first semester at NC State. Ladies and gentlemen, Christopher Kelly. Tyler Glenn King. Tyler's from Gibsonville, North Carolina. He will be receiving the health system certificate as well. Tyler, his plans after school are to work for SAS as an EVAAS service delivery consultant. We'll let him tell us about that acronym later. His special thoughts are being thankful that every professor has an open door policy. And he'd like to thank his mom, Rob, Britt, Bree, and both sets of grandparents for being so supportive these last 4 years. He could not have done it without you. Ladies and gentlemen, Tyler King. Oh, he doesn't have one. He's in the health certificate. Yeah. Logan Kyle Lane. Logan is from the big city of Charlotte, North Carolina. He was in the University Chorale and Statesman Choir. His special thoughts about NC State are the commitment to lifelong learning. He'd like to thank his dad, his two sisters for their continued support. Logan Lane. All right. Ryan David Prescott Long. As you can see, he is a member of the Army ROTC, as well as the North Carolina National Guard. His plans are to work at Roebling Medical Incorporated as a process engineer and to be commissioned as a second lieutenant in the North Carolina National Guard. He'd like to thank John Long, Nancy Long, Caitlin Johnson, and Mary Long. Ladies and gentlemen, Ryan David Prescott Long. Colin Daniel Nolan Cherry. Colin is from Clemens, North Carolina, and he's a member of Tau Beta Pi Engineering Honor Society. After school, he'll be working at Citrix Systems. His special thoughts from his years at NC State: it's great to accomplish this milestone in my life, and I know going forward there's still much more to learn. He'd like to thank Dr. Wisk, his stepdad, his mom, his two brothers, and his two sisters. Ladies and gentlemen, Colin Daniel Nolan Cherry. Lisa Mae Peacock from Goldsboro, North Carolina. Lisa was in the Women in Science and Engineering program as well as the Lutheran Campus Ministries. She had internships with Murano Corporation and Habitat for Humanity. Her special thoughts about NC State are eating Howling Cow ice cream after physics exams. She'd like to thank her family for supporting her throughout her time at NC State. Ladies and gentlemen, Lisa Mae Peacock. Catherine Rose Root from the big city of Raleigh, North Carolina. Catherine's a member of the University Scholars Program and ISE. She did co-op rotations with GE Aviation and an internship with Pratt & Whitney. Her special thoughts from her time at NC State are all of her friends and the opportunities. And she'd like to thank her family for being the best. Ladies and gentlemen, Catherine Rose Root. Michael David Schlesinger from Bahama, North Carolina. Only those of us that live in Durham know it's Bahama and not Bahama, all right? Mike was the IISC president in 2016-2017 academic year, and he participated in intramural basketball, dodgeball, and football. Mike did 4 co-op rotations with GE in Hendersonville and Bucyrus, Ohio? Bucyrus, Ohio. And after graduation, he will be in the OMLP program with GE Current. His special thoughts from NC State are watching many football and basketball games as well as playing intramural sports, and he'd like to thank his parents. Ladies and gentlemen, Michael David Schlesinger. Cassidy Lynn Sowers is from Cary, North Carolina. She's a founding member of the College Service Project at NC State and a former vice president of Zeta Tau Alpha. She spent 4 summers on staff with the Appalachia Service Project, working to eradicate substandard housing in Central Appalachia. Her plans after school are to be a technical analyst with Citrix in Fort Lauderdale. Her special thoughts from her time at NC State: after growing up cheering on the Wolfpack, I'm so happy to be able to look back on these 4.5 years and be thankful for my time spent here. She would like to thank her entire family for being so supportive and encouraging. Ladies and gentlemen, Cassidy Lynn Sowers. Clay Stroud from Raleigh, North Carolina. Clay participated in intramural sports. He worked at Bank of America and American Red Cross. He's still figuring out what he's going to do next, which is fine, but because he has the versatility and wide range of career paths from this degree. His special thoughts about NC State: built relationships that will last forever, learned how to get the most out of myself through organization and planning. He'd like to thank his mom and dad for the love and support and the opportunity to attend NC State. Ladies and gentlemen, Clay Stroud. Alicia Christine Vasquez from Indian Trail, North Carolina. When I wasn't doing homework, I binge watched shows with my roommates, went to eat with friends, and went for walks on the Greenway. Those are her activities. Alicia will be a manufacturing engineer at GE Aviation in their development engine assembly facility in Cincinnati, Ohio. During her thoughts from her 4 years at NC State, I learned how to overcome failures and challenge myself to perform better the next time. I made important friendships and had a great opportunity to get involved in the co-op program, which has led to a permanent position. I also learned the importance of incorporating naps into my regular routine. I would like to thank my parents for their continued support and encouragement, and then under a number of all-nighters, as little as possible because I value my sleep. Alicia Christine Vasquez. Last but certainly not least, Anthony Dean Williams from big city of Warsaw, North Carolina. Spent most of my time either in class, studying, hanging out with friends, or napping, though I do wish I joined a culinary club or group. Tony was tally market supervisor for 2 years. He was a RA in North Hall. In plans after school, take a few moments to breathe and celebrate, and then go into the workforce. NC State was the only university I applied to, and if I had to do it all over again, I would. My 4.5 years here taught me so much about myself, pushed me to my limits, and molded me into the person I am today. As I begin a new chapter in my life, I would just like to express gratitude to all the friends I've made and experiences I'll never forget. He'd like to thank his mom and dad for their constant support. Last but not least, Anthony Dean Williams. So before we recognize our graduates again, I think that all of us agree that family and friends are the bedrock of our foundation, and so the family and friends of all of our undergraduates, if you would please stand and be recognized. So, undergraduates, please rise. So, on behalf of the department, I'd like to thank you for your service to the university. We wish you all the best of luck. We hope that you enjoyed your time here and that you learned a lot. And as we move forward, we look forward to seeing your faces and participating with us in other activities. So ladies and gentlemen, let's give a round of applause for our class. All right, you may be seated. Okay. So now we've reached the end of our journey today. Thank you for participating with us. We'd like to invite you to move to the fellowship hall. So it's 2 doors down. Keep making lefts and you'll get there. You can take pictures in front of the banners and stick around and meet the faculty and staff. So happy holidays, safe travel, and thank you for each of you for attending today. Oh, and you may turn your tassels, ladies and gentlemen. Congratulations.
People in the front and pack it in real tight. Come on, Colin, Mike, Tony, come on. Tony, let's squat. Pack it in, pack it in. Please do. Squat, yeah. I am not going down publicly as a squat. Okay.